Matilde di Canossa was one of the most remarkable and powerful women of the Middle Ages, a central figure in the political, military, and religious life of 11th century Italy, whose influence extended far beyond the traditional limits imposed on women of her time. Born in 1046 into the noble Canossa family, she was the daughter of Boniface III of Tuscany, one of the most powerful lords in Italy, and Beatrice of Lorraine. And after the early deaths of her father and siblings, she became the sole heir to an extensive network of territories that stretched from Lombardy through Emilia-Romagna down to parts of Tuscany, effectively making her one of the greatest feudal rulers in Europe. Raised in a highly cultured and politically active environment, Matilda received an unusually refined education for a woman of her era, learning Latin, theology, and the principles of governance, which later allowed her to interact directly and intelligently with popes, bishops, and emperors. Her life became deeply intertwined with the major conflict of her time, the investiture controversy, a struggle between the papacy and the Holy Roman Empire over the right to appoint bishops and control the church, and she firmly sided with the reformist popes, especially Pope Gregory VII, becoming one of his most loyal and strategic allies. Her support was not only ideological but also practical and military, as she provided troops, safe passage, and strongholds to the papal cause, turning her castles, particularly Canossa, into key centers of resistance against imperial authority. One of the most iconic moments in medieval history took place in 1077 at her fortress of Canossa, where Emperor Henry IV, having been excommunicated, sought reconciliation with the Pope. And according to tradition, he stood barefoot in the snow for 3 days before being granted absolution. A scene that Matilda herself witnessed and facilitated, symbolizing the temporary triumph of papal power over imperial ambition. Despite this episode, the conflict continued for many years, and Matilda proved to be not only a political leader, but also a capable and determined military commander, personally leading armies, organizing defenses, and successfully resisting imperial forces in several campaigns, which was extremely rare for a woman in that era and contributed to her legendary status. Her personal life was marked by strategic marriages, including her union with Godfrey the Hunchback and later with Welf V of Bavaria, both of which had political motivations but did not produce lasting alliances or heirs, leaving her to rule independently for most of her life. Beyond warfare and politics, Matilda was also deeply religious and a generous patron of the church, founding and supporting monasteries, promoting ecclesiastical reform, and donating lands and wealth to religious institutions, actions that reinforced her image as a defender of the faith. In her later years, she continued to support the papacy even as the political situation evolved. And shortly before her death in 1115, she made arrangements that would later contribute to the complex dispute over her lands between the empire and the church, known as the Matildine inheritance. Her legacy endured long after her death, not only because of her political and military achievements, but also because she became a symbol of loyalty to the church and of female authority in a male-dominated world. And in recognition of her importance, her remains were transferred in the 17th century to St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, an exceptional honor that underscores the lasting admiration for her role in shaping medieval European history and defending the autonomy of the papacy during one of its most critical periods.